He comes from a lineage of great sages, yogis, and saints from India. He began his spiritual journey at the age of 7 and was fully realized by the age of 14. During this time, he delved into different practices and acquired mastery over Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Aghori practices, and Yaksha sadhana. He was a siddha, and many masters, saints, and sages used to visit him in solitude to gain wisdom and guidance from him since the tender age. Although he has been helping humanity since childhood, he never disclosed this part of him to the world, and only the advanced yogis and masters were aware of his divine presence. Only in the last 2 years he chose few people from the world and started guiding them in their spiritual paths, and those who have been closely associated with him have witnessed many miracles in his presence. Despite being a family person, he is a yogi and intends to help people entangled in this world achieve Jivan Mukti, liberation while being alive. He is truly in the world but not of the world, and if you really want to understand him, look him beyond his physical appearance and just sit with him, and you will never be the same again. In his presence you will transcend your body and mind and experience the state of Sat, absolute truth, Chit, pure consciousness, Ananda, eternal bliss. Let us fold our hands in front of his divinity and with a heart filled with gratitude and love welcome our spiritual guru, the realized soul, and our enlightened master, Guru Meenakshi Mishra.
अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्रीमहादेवाय नमः। तस्मै श्री सदाशिवाय नमः। ॐ पृथ्वी शान्ति अंतरिक्ष शान्ति सर्वं शान्तिः। अहं ब्रह्मास्मि। So good morning everyone, and good evening to the people from the other side. स्वागत है सभी का। So coming back to the second part of the Garuda Purana. So as there was a huge discussion in the last Q&A session, I believe like lot of clarity might have come to all of us, and along with that lot of queries as well. And when queries appear, that's a great indication. I always keep on saying queries and confusions will lead to clarity. So you are not in a confusion state. Don't think that you have a lot of questions, but rather this is a space which is opening new doors to you. So may that question and everything goes on, and we will talk more about that. But now we will begin with the talks that we started last week. And more than that, there is one specific dhyan that we will be doing very shortly. That is called as the Patana Dhyana. एंड आवाजी जैसे आपने पूछा कि क्या वो विपासना और पतन ध्यान एक ही है? नहीं, विपासना सांसों के ऊपर काम करता है, पतन ध्यान कोशों के ऊपर काम करता है. So coming back to this session, so till what part did we reach to last time? कितने नरक तक जा चुके थे आप लोग? Yeah, hum sab. That we actually covered two, I believe, right? So then we will be, the third would be the Raurava. We will begin with the Raurava and then we will go into the meditation. Because this Patana Dhyana, at least 3 of the spaces should be completed so that we can go into the deeper levels of that. However, it can be taken to the all the major ones that we have come across. जितने सारे हम लिख के रखे हैं, अब we are going to talk, everything can be put into that. But I believe like this meditation would stabilize a lot of things within you. Okay. So today we will be starting with the Raurava. Last time we covered two specifically, जो था Tamishra and Andha Tamishra. Tamishra was like when you rob or you betray somebody, you are bitten by the Yamadutas. And the Andha Tamishra was the thing like when you are actually uh, falling and you have been thrown into some space and constantly been up and down, like throwing up and down kind of thing. Then comes the third one. The third one is quite people, many of the people even see these things in their dreams. So if you have especially fear of snakes and all those things, this hell is actually related to that. And as I said last week, we are not just going to go by the common understanding that people say of it, but we will also dive deeper into that to know what is the truth behind that, as well as how can I relate to it. And the third thing that would happen in that is the like how is the from the Tantra Marg, how it is seen and how that actually helps to get liberated even in that space. So are you all ready? Yes. So we go with the Raurava. So Raurava is the hell, or जो जिसकी व्याख्या की गई है, like it has been described in such a way that this is a hell and there is like you are actually thrown somewhere in such a space where you are actually falling into a pit which is all covered with snakes. And it is, you can imagine this kind of a land that has been described, that the land of serpents, जहाँ पे सांप ही सांप है. And mind you, I'm not saying nag, I'm saying सांप. I'm talking about snake, I'm not talking about cobra or the king cobra. So there is a difference between both of these, right? So when we are talking about a space that is filled with snakes, it is said that this hell is a space where your soul is endlessly bitten, squeezed and devoured by the snakes. Especially if you know जो अजगर होता है, the bigger snakes that might wrap around you and start eating up your prey, like you might have seen that in the National Geographic might be. Or if you have seen the movie Anaconda, that would give you a gross idea like how this would have been. But the only thing is there it eats and throws you off. But here it is a constant way of seeing like you are being constantly being devoured and bitten by the snakes. However, did you understood one amazing thing here? Despite all these things happening, the snake is biting you again and again and again and again. You are going through the pain, but you are not dying. That itself speaks a lot that you are something that is beyond death. Or else just think of, even the body died, you are still there. Even that soul went to the hell also, it is still there. When it is going through the pain and everything, it is still there. That means a clear-cut setting goes that you are actually immortal. Good way of looking at the bad things might be. The tough things, a good thing in that. चलो कुछ भी हो जाए मार तो नहीं पाएगा मुझे. So that itself speaks a lot about one of the qualities that we have been listening. So here, how does this, like from what does these snakes appear? These are born from one's own cruelty. जब कोई जीवन भर ऐसा जीवन जीता है, the person who lives a life filled with cruelty, that has been not been kind to others, always trying to take benefits of them or harming other people's unnecessarily even. So for those people, they will fall into the category of the Raurava. And there they will be beaten by the snakes. That's what it says. But the deeper truth of Raurava is far more astonishing than what I have been saying. And when you hear it, let me narrate it. As I said, no, I'll be using some metaphors, I'll be using some examples, I'll be using some stories or some things that I have brought in from the life itself, so that you understand like how the deeper meanings of all these things exactly come into play. So are you ready to listen to a story that will actually bring the clarity what Raurava is and how Raurava is not just something, a hell that you are thrown into and a snake starts biting you, but in a real life story where you can connect with that and you will be very clear on what that means. So in order to tell the story of this, I would like to tell you the story of a judge. The story of a judge whose tongue became snakes. Now, there is a combination of fantasy with this reality. Now, many of you might say, how can a tongue become a snake? Just like Pinocchio, you might have heard the name of Pinocchio when he says falsified statements, his nose grows. The more false he says, the more the nose grows. Have you heard that story or not? Might be in the childhood days, the ICSE students might have heard that, might have read that. Pinocchio एक लड़का था and he was given a boon or a curse. It can be seen in that way. Like whenever he says anything false, his nose starts growing. The more the false, the nose grows further. The more the false, the more the nose goes further. So that's how the story goes. But today, it is the story of the judge. And if I am here today, you just remind me to tell the story of another judge as well, because that is quite separate, but might be it will help us to completely stabilize back. Okay, so let's start with the story of this judge whose tongue becomes the snakes. So there was, as we always, the story begins long ago. There was once a respected judge named Mahadevan. And this does not resemble anybody's name, living or dead. That's how the star mark goes. So no resemblance to anyone, but we have just taken the name so that the mind does not keeps on wondering what that person's name could have been. So we take the name of Mahadevan as the judge. And he was renowned for his wisdom. People believed that he was actually like the pillar of justice. Like whatever he says, whatever he does, he was uh, considered as the pillar of justice. But behind the closed doors, his judgments were for sale. सामने जो देखे उसको लगे तो ये तो धर्म की मूरत है, but behind the closed doors, his judgments were kept on sale. He freed the guilty for gold. He punished the innocent for favors, and he silenced truth tellers and rewarded the liars. On the surface, he appeared very calm, but no one knew the small, quiet whisper of guilt that came at night to him. He would just go to sleep, try to sleep, and he would start listening. This child's father was jailed because of you. This mother lost her home because you took a bribe. But Mahadevan, he thought himself to be Shiva. He thought, like as Shiva used to use the drink, the poison, I can drink all these talks, all these thoughts of people. And he used to think in this way. He just swallowed all the whispers, covering them with luxury, power, and illusion of respect. उसे लगता था कि ये जो शान शौकत है, ये जो नाम है, इसके आगे वो सब बातें कुछ भी नहीं है. They are of no use. They don't even stay there. But as we all know, how far you run, you cannot get out of life alive. Some or other day, the faster you run, still life catches you up, and that brings you the stage of death. And that's exactly what happened. When the death came, he expected rest, but instead he opened his eyes in Raurava. All around him, he could see that he was slithered by thousands of snakes, thousands of serpents. They were glowing in a very strange way, very sickly light, because that light itself would make you feel sick. But these were no ordinary snakes. When they made the sound of hissing, he heard every lie he had ever spoken. When they bit him, he felt the pain of every soul he had betrayed. When they were all slithering around him, and they all came in the most horrifying ways, he was all getting the revelations of the sins that he has done in his life. Because these serpents were not the serpents from the outside created by somebody else, but these were the serpents that were created by his own guilt, by his own karma. And every time he had ignored that inner voice of consciousness, it had not died. It had curled up inside him like a coiled snake, waiting for him to fall. And now, in Raurava, those hidden snakes finally found a space to rise and come in front of it. And at the same time, he was resisting. He was trying to run away from those snakes in the Raurava space. But the more he resisted, the more the serpents tightened their coils. If he tried to run, they slithered faster. If he tried to close his eyes, they hissed inside his head. He realized that guilt cannot be escaped because it is not outside. It lives in you. Even when alive, he had been feeding these serpents with every dishonest act. In Raurava, they simply became visible that he had hidden all within himself. But at the same time, this was the story of Mahadevan, who was doing all these wrong acts, and those became the snakes in the hell of Raurava. But as you know, there are always good and bad. So there was another being, another life, another soul. Alongside of Mahadevan, there was another soul who entered into Raurava. And again, it does not matter, but the name was Hari. Now Hari, the other being who entered into Raurava along with him, who had also made mistakes, yet whenever he felt guilt in life, he did not bury it. He faced it, he confessed it, and made amendments throughout his life. So when he arrived in Raurava, a single serpent appeared, but instead of biting him, it bored its head and slithered away, dissolving into light. Because guilt that is acknowledged and purified cannot turn into a serpent. गलतियां किससे नहीं होती? Who is there who has not done wrong? But the thing is, have you rectified that? If you have, then you know how the story of Hari goes there. Now here the hidden meaning of Raurava is actually, it is not a random kind of hell that we speak of. It is a place where suppressed guilt takes a form. Every time you silence your consciousness, every time, कितने बार हमारे मन में आता है, The consciousness speaks, but we keep it aside. And every time you silence your consciousness, you are like planting a snake for your own self. Every time you deceive yourself, it's like you are feeding that snake. And when you wear masks, and when your masks actually fall off, those snakes will come home. But here's the shocking truth. Those same snakes hold the power to awaken you as well. Now, let's understand why I said those same snakes hold the power to awaken you. Now let's talk about the secret of the serpent energy. In the tantric wisdom, the serpent is a dual symbol. It has a symbol. It is considered as a symbol as one. The first symbol is as guilt. It poisons you. And as awareness, it becomes the Kundalini Shakti that can take you into liberation. So that's how it is spoken in the tantric ways. The same coiling power that bites you, unconsciousness, and it bites you so much that you fall unconscious, can lift you into the higher consciousness when faced with courage. When your own guilt, instead of running from it, it transforms from a snake of torment into a serpent power when you are ready to do the sadhana and rectify the errors that you might have done. Can you see the same thing in the space of Tantra? When people used to hear that, they feel so fearful. But what is the truth behind the Tantra? They have never known it. Can you see the same fear that brings so much of fear within you? In one way, it is showcasing the path how to get out of that fear and get liberated. And that's what nobody speaks of. But what would be a message for all of us? How can we live actually a powerful life if we know that this is how we create the hell called as the Raurava? Then the understanding that we should learn and the things that we should be aware of is you cannot bury your guilt. It only coils deeper. The sooner you face your wrong things, the sooner they dissolve. And real strength is not in not doing errors, but in admitting, amending, and rising beyond that. A truly powerful life is not spotless. I cannot say you could have a spotless life altogether, but it is transparent. The ones who owns their shadow has nothing left to fear. Means when you have accepted that I have a shadow and you rectify that, that's where you come out of that fear of the Raurava. And a little bit of a twist that Tantra brings into this. It would be in this way. A Tantric does not fear serpents. He befriends them. मतलब उसको अपना मित्र बना लेता है. In deep meditation, they visualize their inner guilt as serpent. Look it into the eye and say, "You are my teacher. Show me the truth I refused to see." क्या समझ में आया आपको? Like what kind of absolute pure consciousness is required to even speak that? It even looks at its mistakes as its teacher. Because that's how you learn, that's how you become better, and that's what Tantra speaks of. And you know what would happen when you say that you are my teacher, show me the truth that I have refused to see today? What would happen? The serpent that would have bitten them becomes their guardian, guiding them throughout the way and help them to rise of the Kundalini Shakti, the force of the spiritual awakening. So what a sinner suffers in Raurava, a seeker uses as a ladder to enlightenment. So when you have heard of these stories, when you have heard of this Raurava, What is the teachings? What are the learnings for all of us? The learnings, the teachings that you can take is listen to your consciousness before it becomes a serpent. Got that? Then make amendments while you still can. Freedom lies in responsibility. Your guilt can either destroy you or awaken you. The choice is absolutely yours. Now, when you have understood what Raurava in reality could be, how the same hell can be converted into a powerful space, what would you decide for your own self? Would you live there, or you would make a pathway so that you don't fall into the category of those most horrendous and horrifying spaces? And by the way, whether you go to any hell or not, the hell already exists within us if we have not taken care of it. And that's why we keep on saying, you don't have to create a heaven. The heaven already exists. The only thing that you need to do is to stop creating the hell further. So who is the creator of this hell now? And now we keep on asking, like, if God has created, why he created hell? I said he did not. It's us. It's all us. And today morning when I woke up, like every morning you woke up with a new way of looking at things, a new way of seeing things. Just when some people keep on asking us that, where is God? Where is God? And you keep on saying it's everywhere. I got such a fabulous, simple explanation for that. Where is God? You say everywhere it is, but we cannot see it. Now let me ask you, if this entire creation is the image of God, we are not able to see the God still. And let me ask you, where are you? Where are your images? Then you can say in a simplified way, my image can be seen there wherever there is a mirror. Did you get that? You are not here right now because you don't have a mirror here. If I keep a mirror here, you are here, 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 there, everywhere. What does that mean? You are actually everywhere. The missing thing is the mirror because of which you cannot see that. That's what exactly meditation does to you. You become so still that the image of the creator starts showcasing itself in the mirror that you create within yourself. Now tell me, where is God? Where is the image of God? It's not only there in the absence of the mirror, in the absence of the seer, but it is reflecting every moment. In order to get into the meditative state right now, are we all set? But this has a very typical way of doing it. This is part of our sadhana that we keep on doing. Do you remember we asked you to blindfold your own self? This patana dhyana is also a similar kind of thing, but instead of blindfolding, you can do one thing. You can make the room darker, might be. So go, and do one thing. जाने से पहले थोड़ा पानी पी लेना वापस आने से पहले. वो कहते हैं मृत्यु से पहले लोगों को गंगा जल पिला दिया जाता है. So थोड़ा पानी पी के जरूर आना. So drink some water so that we can dive deeper beyond that now. My goodness. कुछ लोग तो 1 लीटर पी ले रहे, बोला ज्यादा ही पी लूं जल्दी मुक्ति मिल जाए. Now, Hari, some people are asking, why are you not drinking water? I said, यमदूत को पानी की क्या जरूरत है? जो जा रहे हैं उनको चाहिए. Okay. So I can see the dark rooms right now. That's good. See, that will help you. The darker the room, the better you will be. రత్న గారు అన్ని లైట్స్ క్లోజ్ చేయండి, ఆఫ్ చేయండి. సరోజ గారు మీరు కూడా. उषा जी को मेरा तेलुगु ही समझ में आया, इससे पहले हिंदी में बोले तो लाइट ऑफ नहीं करे थे. ओके, विद्या जी बैठ जाओ जल्दी. प्रीति जी, that's the maximum darkness that you can do. Okay. All right. Chalo. It's good. Haribhai makes sure he still has light behind him when he walks. Okay. So here, this meditation that we are going to do, I will give you a basic idea of that. Because without that, it would be like, what to do now? Where to go now? That kind of state of mind would appear because the mind will have a lot of questions on that. So I will give you the basic idea what this Patana Dhyana is all about. And when you understand the Patana Dhyana, I will be keep on guiding you through that. Okay. It will take certain time. So please sit in a space where you can sit straight. Take a back support. If you are sitting on a chair, that's fine. But make sure you can sit there for quite some time. You will not be having tingling sensations in your legs and all those things in the next 5-10 minutes because it will take certain time. So I can tell this, welcome to hell again. But as I said, the darkness remains for those who don't know what light is and those who don't carry the light with them. But you, through your processes, through your sadhana, through your practices, you are already carrying a light. And when I look at Navneet, if you can see the screen of Haribhai, it looks like the northern lights now. It keeps on changing. Okay. So let's begin with the Patana Dhyana. And this is actually, you might have read, like yesterday, I wrote something. Patana Dhyana is the meditation of the fall into awakening. हमेशा आपने सुना होगा कि people keep on says that rise and awake. But here it is absolutely the other way around. You fall to awake. It should be easier things for us, right? आप हमेशा कहते हो ऊपर कैसे उठना ये नहीं, but हमेशा नीचे तो गिर जाते हो. You keep on falling again and again. So that would be much easier for you, I believe. And you see, Shiva's grace, he has not even left the way for the falling. जो गिर गए हैं, गिर रहे हैं और गिरे हुए हैं, उनको भी उठाने की शक्ति है उसमें. And that's where this begins. The space where you will fall to rise, where you will fall to awaken. And that's where this entire dhyana is going to be. This is going to be, I will be using, as I said, I'll be guiding you through this meditation to transmute you, means to make you pass through the inner hells that you have created all these years, all along with you. The Raurava, the Tamishra, the Andatamishra, and even to the Kumbhipaka, but the Kumbhipaka will be coming next, so I will try to keep a balance between that. But all this falling into your own self is going to be a space of awakening. Now you could ask me, why do you want us to go through this hell? I said, I will hold your hand and make you pass through that so that you don't become a victim of that hell ever again. And that's why we do this process. And that's why I said, don't even dare to miss this process. Process could be very simple, but the space is very obnoxious. The space is horrifying. But when you walk with somebody who knows the path, the process becomes simpler and easy. So what is Patana Dhyana? It's all about. It is actually coming from, again, the Tantric mysticism. How the Tantric actually convert that fear, the guilt, into the serpent of rising, the serpent of truth. How they actually make this serpent their teacher. वो अपनी गलतियों को अपना गुरु कैसे बना लेते हैं, कैसे उससे सीख लेते हैं, how they learn from all these things. So as I said, in the Tantric mysticism, patana means falling. In Hindi also, we all know patana means falling. But this is not falling physically, but falling inward. आज आप गिरोगे बाहर की तरफ नहीं, अंदर की तरफ. You will fall within you. And in this falling, you will fall into darkness. You will fall into an abyss, a space of your own hidden self, which we don't even go and seek. That's why it is hidden. That's why it is dark, because we never go there. And we will actually enter into a space that you have been avoiding and you have been fearing to go. Because that is where which has kept you where you are right now. That is what it is, like a untouched space. It can be this is where all your poison is growing. And that's where we go in the Patana Dhyana. And before even you think that, oh my God, what's going to happen? Then just you have to hold my hand, because this descent that is going to happen is not punishment, but it is going into the presence of what has happened. It is not going into it with guilt, but into the grace that will be born out of your truth, out of your honesty. Just as Raurava, the serpents, are born out of guilt, Tamishra, the darkness, arises from the betrayal. The Andhatamishra is the weight of the neglect that you carry. And the Kumbhipaka, I'll just tell what Kumbhipaka is anyways in the next phase. Patana Dhyana is like a alchemical descent. It's like a falling, yet this falling will rise you. That transforms these inner hells into a staircase of moksha. The same things that you have been holding within you, may that become the pathway. May they become the staircase for you. As we all know, like, I am a conscious being, but in order to reach to the temple, I need something that is so unconscious as a rock. And I climb on that rock that have become a stairs. Similarly, the rocks of my past, the rocks of my sins, the rocks of my guilt, the rocks that I have been hiding all within me, may today become the staircase that actually takes me up and makes me reach the divine itself. So as you have understood the meaning of it, I'd want you to please close your eyes. Sit straight. You don't have to even take your chin up. You just keep your heads in a normal space. Feel your body, your surroundings, whatever is happening. Feel it for a moment कि आसपास क्या हो रहा है, आपके शरीर में क्या चल रहा है, उसे ध्यान से देख लें, एक बार समझ लें. And also remember where you are sitting right now. So this is going to need some of your imagination, but at the same time, the logical mind. So it is going to be a dabbling situation where people, when they have the difficulty to even experience something because they cannot visualize, For them also, this is going to be a logical way of understanding it. And the persons, those who can actually visualize, for them also, this is going to be a space where both the experience will come into play. Now, as you have, आपने देख रेख कर लिया, you have already seen what is all surrounding you, how your body feels. Keep your eyes still closed. Now let us create an inner temple. The inner temple is dark. Why it is dark? Because I have never entered into this temple to light up the candle, light up the lamp. This part of the temple has been hidden. This part of the temple have been cursed. This part of the heaven, this part of the temple has been, doors have been closed for ages. Today it is the time to reopen those. So as you sit with your eyes closed, let the silence embrace you. Let that silence wrap you around like a quilt. एक चद्दर की भांति वो जो शांत है, वो शांतपन जो है वो आपको कवर अप कर ले. And when this silence is embracing you, make sure you sit comfortably with your spine straight. Take 3 deep breaths. 3 गहरी सांसें लेनी है और धीरे से वो सांसें छोड़ देनी है. This is the first 3 breaths. Now again you will take 3 breaths, but this time while you are taking the breath in and bringing the breath out, as you exhale, each time you have to say one thing within yourself. आपके मन के अंदर आपको ये कहना है. When you are breathing out, just say, I let go of the surface. I fall inward. मैं बाह्य जगत को मना करता हूं और अपने अंदर की जगत में गिर रहा हूं. I let go of the surface. I fall inward. 3 बार ऐसे कर दें. And you will still keep your eyes closed. You don't have to stop your breath. You don't have to fight with your breath. Let the breath go and come easily. Let the normal breath happen. Now, with every breath that you take, you just imagine you are stepping away from the outer world. बाह्य जगत से आप धीरे धीरे दूर होते जा रहे हो. As if you are walking into a deeper and deeper into a cave. एक ऐसे गुफा के अंदर that is dark and that is only ignited and the lit or the light is coming out of your breath, nothing else. आपके सांसें जैसे बाहर आ रहे हैं वही, just these are just like the sparks of light that is showing your path. Because as you're walking away from the external world into the deeper inner cave, it is becoming darker and darker. And the only light that you see is the light created by your breath. Continue it for some time. Go as deep as possible, as dark as possible. All the thoughts that roam around, let them walk along with you into that darkness. You need not worry going into the darkness because I walk along with you. Now, as you have gone into that dark space, now you visualize a long spiral staircase that is going downward. एक ऐसी सीढ़ी जो गोल 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 घूमते हुए नीचे की तरफ जा रही है, बहुत ही गहरी, very very deep, and the stair is just like a spiral staircase going down. But instead of fear, you feel curious. And now, with that curiosity, you start taking a step one by one into the spiral staircase that is going deep down somewhere. एक एक कदम बढ़ाते हुए you are coming down, 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 down. It's like with every mental step that you are going down, just whisper inwardly, आपके अंदर ये बोले, I descend not to die but to discover. I descend not to die but to discover. I descend not to die but to discover. Let yourself go, keep on walking deep down, and it becomes more darker and darker and darker. Let yourself go into that staircase. Keep going down, down, and down. I descend not to die but to discover. I descend not to die but to discover. Let yourself fall, not with dread but with surrender. May this falling also become the path to your truth, because now something will appear from that darkness. The more and more, the deeper you go into that darkness, it's by layer, your past memories will show up. Some memories very sharp, some memories very dull, but they will just appear in front of you. But you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to analyze. You just have to observe what kind of memories are showcasing. You need not be worried. You need not be attached. You should not analyze the memories. Observe. And when all the things of the past are coming and you are just observing, it seems like as if you are sitting in a dark room and watching a movie. And when you can see the images of your past, you are actually witnessing your subconscious, because all these things have been crystallized in the subconscious level. Now, once you have seen whatever has happened in the past, this is the time to meet the serpent of guilt, the Raurava. Now, as you have kept walking and walking and walking, now you will find yourself in a circular chamber of stillness. And then, when you see yourself in the circular chamber of stillness, a coiled black serpent is resting in front of you. And as this black serpent rests in front of you, look at it. It is the serpent of guilt. And this has been formed from every deed you have buried, every truth that you have denied. The serpent of guilt. But today you are not going to be there. This time you are going to look into its eyes. You look into the eyes of the serpent and you just speak these words within you. I see you. मैं तुझे देख पा रहा हूं. I can see the snake of my guilt. I see you. But at the same time, I forgive myself. I see you. I forgive myself. And now, as I have forgiven myself, I release this guilt. And now, as you breathe and as you are releasing the guilt, you will see the serpent uncoiling itself. Slowly वो कुंडलिनी खुल रही है. And now it is shedding its skin as well. The snake is shedding its old skin. And as it has shedded its skin, in its place rises a golden serpent of wisdom, एक दिव्यता से भरा स्वर्ण स्वर सर्प. And this is curling slowly at the base of your spine. This is Kundalini, the guilt that is transformed into energy. And now, when you have seen this golden snake awaken, you can be free of your guilt, leaving them all aside. And now, once this has awakened, we will go to the space of Tamishra, the darkness of betrayal. Now, as you have taken the idea of this brightened up golden snake, now suddenly everything actually goes back into darkness. The room dims completely. And this room is so dark that you cannot even see your own hands. Now, the more and the more the room becomes darker, you cannot see anything. This is Tamishra. It is not a punishment, it is just the absence of truth. This is a great time to notice if there is a part of your life where you were wearing a mask, where you betrayed yourself or you betrayed others. Hmm. And when you are seeing the parts of the betrayal that has happened, the wrongs that you have done, and you are standing in front of it as is, just say silently within yourself, I remove all masks as I am ready to be real. I remove all masks. I am ready to be real. I remove all masks. I am ready to be real. I remove all masks. I am ready to be real. And as you repeat this, you will experience that the darkness is beginning to slowly start glowing, but very dimly. And as the light glows, you might have understood this is not an external light, but the warmth of your inner truth. That is what you are feeling. Now, again, the plot changes. The abyss of neglect, the Andhata Mishra. As the scene changes, suddenly you will feel as if you are falling, and you are falling into a space which does not have a floor. Just the sensation of weightlessness, but you are constantly falling, 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 falling. And as you are continuing to fall, remember, this is Andhata Mishra, the abyss created by what you have abandoned in your life. And as you are falling, this is a great place to ask your own self, what in me have I neglected? What in me I have neglected? And the second thing would be, who did I leave unseen? What have you neglected? What have you not seen? Where have you run away? Remember all those things. But when you are asking this question, breathe deeply, एक गहरी सांस. लेते चले जाएं, लेते चले जाएं। और सांसें गहरी होनी चाहिए. It should be deep breath. And with each breath that you take, imagine it's like the thread of golden light is connecting with you. आपके साथ धीरे धीरे एक गोल्डन लाइट कनेक्ट हो रहा है. इट्स कनेक्टिंग विथ यू. And it is not just connecting with you to your own self. It is connecting you with the people that you have forgotten. It is connecting you to the parts of your own self that you have silenced, that you don't speak of. And when you see all these things, you simply say silently, I return to what matters. I restore what I once left behind. I return to what matters. I restore what I once left behind. I return to what matters. I restore what I once left behind. And while you are saying this, you will experience, you just feel the fall becoming slower now. And as the more and more golden threads hold you, again feel the fall is becoming slower. And from the golden threads, they are appearing from the divine grace, and they will catch you and hold you from falling. And now we will take the space to rise. From here on, you will rise from the fall. Now you will rise from the fall. Slowly you will rise from the fall. Now you can visualize a golden pillar of light that is coming into a chamber, coming into a room, and it is filled with the golden light. And this golden light is nothing else but your own higher self waiting. And as you step into, you take a breath, and with each breath, you rise upward through all the places you fell. जिस जिस रास्ते से आप नीचे गिरे थे, उसी उसी रास्ते से ऊपर उठते चले जाओगे. From So now your rise upward begins from the abyss, from the darkness, and finally beyond the serpent. You are beyond the abyss. You are beyond the darkness. You are beyond the serpent. Now you actually emerge into the inner sky, the sky that is vast, the sky that is still. This is filled with light. And you can say this to your own self. I descended to awaken. I return transformed. Nothing within me is in my enemy. All is my energy. I descended to awaken. I return transformed. Nothing within me is my enemy. All is my energy. And as you are filled with light, you still continue to just sit quietly. Let no word arise within you and allow this transformation to settle. Let all these hells become memory, nothing more. They no longer bind you. Your past no longer binds you. You have already met them, and you have emerged with your light reclaimed. And now you will chant along with me. आपको एक चैंटिंग करना है मेरे साथ. जस्ट से यत्र नरकः भाषन्ते तत्र मोक्षः संभवति. यत्र नरकः भासन्ते तत्र मोक्षः संभवति. यत्र नरकः भाषन्ते तत्र मोक्षः संभवति. यत्र नरकः भाषन्ते तत्र मोक्षः संभवति. यत्र नरकः भाषन्ते तत्र मोक्षः संभवति. Where the hells arise, there too liberation is possible if you are guided in the right way. Wherever there is a hell, there must be a heaven. The only thing that needs to be transformed is the bridge. And now slowly you can take your own time to open your eyes. But before doing that, do take a deep breath. Fill your heart Fill your lungs with the fresh air and awake with a smile on your face, feeling absolutely light, absolutely free. How does it feel? एक गहरी सांस लेते हुए सांसों को मुंह के जरिए, like take the deep breath and bring it out through your mouth and stretch. Now you can drink the water of elixir now, because the space that you have created, let it settle down. थोड़ा पानी पी लो. So the best thing that you learned might be is wherever there is a hell, there is a possibility of the heaven as well. We started with a story of a judge. We will end it with a story of a judge. That story of the judge bound you. This story of the judge will free you up. Now you can actually understand the story of another judge. I heard this story quite some time ago, but it is such a beautiful story. ध्यान से सुनना. It might just melt you away. I still keep on gets confusing with these stories, whether it was in Kashi or was it in Vrindavan. Whatever way, whichever space. There was this a sage, a saint, very simple person. He does his own sadhana and he just roams around on the streets. But whenever he roams around in the streets, everybody calls him Jad Sahab, Jad Sahab. So wherever he goes, all the people, those who know him, they call him Jad Sahab. One fine day, one curious being like you, आपके जैसा कोई खोजी, वो पहुंचता है उस जगह पे. They reach that space, and while they are there, this person passes by and everybody is asking, calling him as the Jad Sahab, Jad Sahab. So this person who is looking at him is very curious. He says he looks like a saint, but why everybody is calling him Jad Sahab? And that very moment, he goes along with him. He asks, would you like to eat something? Would you like to drink a little bit of a tea, might be? And he says, yes, of course, if you can give me one. And they both go to a tea stall. So he brings some food for him and drinks. And while doing so, his queriness, like his inquisitiveness, he asks the question, you look like a saint, but why does everyone call you Jad Sahab? And he smiles and he says, don't ask me that. And like the moment somebody says, don't ask me that, what happens next, Amarji? You ask more. So he says, no, please tell me, please tell me. Then The Judge Sahab, he says, I will tell you the story, but I am not responsible if anything happens to you. It's up to you if you really want to listen to this story, and what will happen to you beyond that, I am not responsible for that. I will tell you the story, but what happens next after that to you is not my responsibility. Is it okay? Shall I tell you the story now? So let's act as if this is the judge and that is the inquisitive person who is asking the question. Why to listen to it as a third party? Let's be that. So role play, right? That's what we call as role play. So you are the person who is asking the question, and now I'm going to tell you the story. For the final time, I'm asking. I will tell you the story, but what happens beyond that is your responsibility. Shall I start? No, the inquisitiveness bhi to aana chahiye na. I'm not seeing that on your face. That's why I keeps on asking again and again and again. Like, are you really ready for that? Okay, so the story goes this way. He says, okay, just don't call me as the judge sahab, but I was actually a judge in the court of law. So in a small village, somewhere in the down south, I was in a small village, in a small city, rather a district that you can call. I was a judge. And this person asked, okay, if you were a judge, how did you become this? Now that's the story. This is what's the story. He says, again, I remind you, if anything happens to you, I'm not responsible for that. And he says, let what happen. I'm ready to listen to the story now, just like as you are feeling right now. अरे कहानी तो बोलो, कितने बार पूछोगे कहानी सुनने के बाद क्या सुनने के बाद क्या होगा देख लेंगे. Did you saw the daring soul that you are? This might have been the case when the light beings, when the divine might have asked you, see, I can allow you to go back to the earth, to the Mrityu Lok, but what will happen beyond that is yours. He says, no, don't worry, you just send me there. I will take care. Have you done that or not? जैसे मेरी कहानी सुनने के लिए उतावले हो रहे हो ना, वैसे ही यहां आने के लिए उतावले हुए होंगे. वो आपको बार बार पूछा होगा कि सच में क्या तू जानना चाहता है, लेकिन उधर मैं भेज तो दूंगा, लेकिन उसके बाद जो होगा उसका जिम्मेदार तू है. और आपने कहा भेजो, उसके बाद देखेंगे. वो आपको 5 बार पूछा होगा, 7 बार पूछा होगा, 10 बार पूछा होगा, और आप फिर कहते हो भेज के तो देखो, उसके बाद जो होगा मैं देख लूंगा. एग्जैक्टली जस्ट लाइक यू आर इंक्विजिटिव अबाउट लिसनिंग टू द स्टोरी. Shall I tell you the story? Because what happens beyond that is your responsibility. अब भी लगता है ना, अरे बोल दो, बिकॉज यू स्टिल नो दैट देर इज समथिंग दैट इज हिडन. यही है संसार की माया, कि उसमें रहस्य क्या छिपा है जिसको सुनने के बाद सब कुछ बदल जाता है. मैं वो सुनना चाहता हूं. वो ऐसी कौन सी जगह है कि जहां जाने के बाद सब कुछ बदल जाता है. मैं वहां जाना चाहता हूं. ऐसा कौन सा एक्सपीरियंस है जो मैंने नहीं किया, मैं उसे एक्सपीरियंस करना चाहता हूं. भेज के तो देखो, उसके बाद का जो है मैं देख लूंगा. यस और यस. अब कहानी बोलो. अब थोड़े समय के बाद अगर 2-4 बार और पूछो, स्विच ऑफ करके कुछ लोग चले जाएंगे, बोलेंगे कहानी कुछ है नहीं, ये बस मजाक कर रहे हैं बैठ के हमारे साथ. Just playing around, is just joking around, and that's what. There is no story actually to tell. But in this telling itself is the unfolding of the truth for you. Yes or no? न जाने कितने बार उसने रोका होगा, अरे मत जा, मेरी माया है, लेकिन तू वहां मत जा. But we all came down. We all heard the story. And beyond that, what is happening to us is all responsibility of ours. And now we question, why did you send us here? He asked you, you only forced yourself to come here. चलो अब कहानी सुनते. So the judge says, now I'm telling you the story. I was a judge in a small district, and there in that district, when I was a judge, a case came into my notice. उसके जज के पास एक केस आया. He was a very good person, actually, the judge. In that village, in that district where he was a judge, there lived a fisherman. ठीक है, एक मछली पकड़ने वाला था. And that person was so simple, so honest. He never did business with anyone, might be. He always talked people with humbleness, respected everyone, took care of his family, and always itna saral, like so simple that whoever asks, how's life going on? He would always say, Raghunandan jane, Raghunandan jane, Raghunandan jane. So every time, whoever, whatever is being asked, वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक ही बात कहेगा, रघुनंदन जाने. शायद आप कह सकते हो कि शिव जाने, राधा जाने, कृष्ण जाने, लेकिन वो कहते थे रघुनंदन जाने. उसे कुछ भी पूछ लो, तकलीफ है रघुनंदन जाने. जीवन बढ़िया चल रहा है, रघुनंदन जाने. सो हिज ओनली वे इज he always dedicates everything in the name of Raghunandan. He didn't call him Ram, he always used to call him Raghunandan. So he lived his life quite well, and he had two kids, okay, one daughter, one son. The marriage of the daughter was fixed. And when the marriage of the daughter was fixed, he didn't have enough money. So he went to a sahukar who lends the money. So he goes there and he takes the money. 200 रुपए उधार लेता है, 200 rupees. Because might be at that time, 200 rupees was good enough to get a marriage done. अब तो 2 रुपए में एक बिंदी नहीं आती, शादी क्या होगी. So now coming to, he took that 200 rupees, get her daughter married. Everything was good. And even his son was a good person. And he also started earning money and helped his father to repay the money back. ठीक है. So पैसा सब एक दिन, he brought enough money, they kept it, and this collected enough money so that they can go back to the sahukar and give it away, including the entire ब्याज जो है, जो the interest and whatever was there, he collected everything. And this innocent being person, he goes and gives the money to the sahukar. The sahukar takes the money and he writes a note, a promissory note kind of thing, that everything has been paid, pai pai chukta ho gaya hai. He has taken this money and he has given it back. So there is no more money pending with him. And he writes that and gives the slip to the person, that fisherman. And he says, read. But the fisherman said, I don't know how to read, but if you have written Raghunandan Jane. By listening to this, the sahukar thought, oh, so he does not know how to read and write. I can play with him. He says, stop, stop, stop. There is an error in that paper. Can you give me back? He said, what happened? No, no, let me write it in the correct way. He takes that slip away on which he has agreed that he has already paid everything. He keeps it, writes another note saying that he has not paid his money and everything is still pending. If you think you have understood the story, you have not, because that's the story. Now what happens is, he takes the slip and he thinks like, oh, now I'm also free of this debt that I have taken. Now I can live my life on my own terms. Raghunandan Jane. He takes this slip, keeps it at his puja place and says, thank you for freeing me from this debt as well. He keeps it there. After some days, there is a summon from the court. And the summon person who came searching for this fisherman, he says, the sahukar has started a case on you because you have not paid the money. And then he said, is that so? Raghunandan Jane. He says, okay, so on this particular day, you have to be in the court and you have to be present there to tell your case. He said, okay, Jaisi Raghunandan ki marzi. And he thought like, anyways, I have the slip. I will show that and I will be coming back. So on that day, he carries that slip and goes to the court. This is the court of the same Judge Sahab. Now, the judge was a good person. When he looks at this fellow, he says, he does not look like a person who would cheat or who would not pay back or something like that. So the judge asks the sahukar, you have given the money and he has not paid back. That's what you claim. He said, exactly, Judge Sahab, paise wapas nahi kiya usne. He has not returned it back. Then the judge asks, how about you? Have you not paid him the money? वो हाथ जोड़ता है, बोला रघुनंदन जानते हैं मैंने पैसे दे दिए. I have given the money back. तो जज साहब कहते कोई सबूत है तुम्हारे पास? डू यू हैव एनी एविडेंस दैट यू हैव पेड द मनी बैक? वो बोलता यस यस आई हैव द एविडेंस. दिस इज द पेपर, यू टेक इट. This is the paper that the Saukar has given me. But when the judge reads that, it says that he has not paid the money. Then the judge says, but here it is written that you have not paid the money. And this person, the fisherman, is now thinking, Raghunandan ne badal diya kya? He's not thinking that the Sahukar might have changed it. He's now thinking, okay, I might have something to be paid back. That's why Raghunandan might have changed it. देखो कितनी सरलता है उसमें. But the judge understood. He says like, I believe that what you are saying is true, that you might have paid it back. But was there anybody else apart from the Sahukar when you paid the money? Now this fisherman thinks and he thinks and thinks and he says, yeah, Raghunandan was there. Because for him, Raghunandan is everywhere. But the most tragic thing that happened is when he said Raghunandan was there, the judge thought there is a person whose name is Raghunandan. He says, very good. So the next time you bring Raghunandan along with you. So the next time when you bring Raghunandan with you, he will tell and you will be free. So he says, okay, Raghunandan jane. Because he does not even think that Raghunandan will come or not. He says, Raghunandan jane. He goes back. Another summon is done. Now the person who is about to deliver the summon, he roams around the entire village. There is nobody called as Raghunandan. बेचारा सुबह से शाम हो गई, घूमते घूमते रघुनंदन नहीं मिल रहा है. He says, what? That fellow told the name of Raghunandan was there, but where is this Raghunandan now? Now finally he stops at a tea stall and he asks, is there anybody called as Raghunandan? He says, yes, there, that temple. The god inside the temple is called Raghunandan. He did not say that the god inside the temple is called Raghunandan, but there lives Raghunandan. वहां पे रघुनंदन रहता है. बोला finally throughout the day I have roamed, now finally I have found Raghunandan. So he goes to the temple and the priest is there और वो पुजारी को पूछता है यही रघुनंदन है? He says yes yes. ना उनके नाम पे समन है. Now the pujari for the first time laughs and he says जैसे रघुनंदन की मर्जी. He takes the summon and signs it and gives the slot back. And that person thought this person is Raghunandan. Means the one who gave the summon, he thought that the priest's name is Raghunandan. But the priest is now, once this person goes, he sits in front of the image of Lord Ram and he says, Ajeeb Leela hai teri. Means, for you, I have seen people bringing tilak. For you, I have seen people bringing clothes. मैंने देखा है कि लोग तेरे लिए पैंजनियां लाते हैं, तेरे लिए कपड़े लाते हैं, तेरे लिए प्रसाद लाते हैं, तेरे लिए तिलक लेके आते हैं, तेरे लिए भाव लेके आते हैं. पहली बार तेरे नाम का समन आया है. कितनी अद्भुत बात है. What a beautiful thing. तेरी मर्जी. So what he does, he keeps the summon at the feet of Ram. And finally, the day of judgment arrives. And now this fisherman goes as usual. He says, Raghunandan aa jayenge. Uski marzi. So he goes to the court. Now the judge comes and he asks, okay, sab kuch theek hai? He says, yes, very good. Now Raghunandan aaya hai? He says, हाँ आए होंगे. He might have come. He might be here somewhere. And that very moment, the judge says, okay, call upon Raghunandan's name. Wherever he is, he will listen to it and come back anyways. Now, जो name callers रहते हैं ना, they call the name in the court. वो कहते हैं रघुनंदन हाजिर हो, रघुनंदन हाजिर हो, रघुनंदन हाजिर हो. Means, may Raghunandan come here now. Wherever you are, come here now, come here now, come here now. And somehow, a old person with a stick starts coming into the court. Now, the person who went with the summon, he says, but this does not look like the same person who signed it. But he still kept quiet. He says, let's see what happens next. So this old man goes to the Katghare mein jate na, that box, witness box. So he goes there and he stands there and he is waiting, and the judge asks, were you there when this transaction was happening between this fisherman and this judge, this Sahukar? He says, yes, I was there. Now the Sahukar shouts, no one was there. How can he say that he was there? You were nowhere there, and I don't even know you. Who are you? The judge says, why is he denying that you were there? He says, because he could not see me. Then the judge asks, but can you prove that you were there? He says, yes, I can prove I was there. And he says, then prove it. He says, do one thing, don't allow this Sahukar to go anywhere. Send a person or police from your place to go to his shop, and in this book, in this page, inside that there is a note. Go and bring it and see whether it is written on that particular day he has paid everything or not. तो साहूकार डर जाता है. जज कहते you cannot go anywhere. He sends the police goes, brings out the slip, and in that slip it is written that he has paid everything. And then the judge writes a punishment for the Sahukar for lying and praises the fisherman for bringing this truth out. But thereafter, when the judge is about to close the session, the person who has given the slip, he goes to the judge and says, he is not the person whom I gave the slip to. He is not Raghunandan. So the judge says, how can this happen? Then he calls the fisherman, because judgment to ho chuka hai. He calls the fisherman to his chambers and he says, is he really Raghunandan? The fisherman looks at him and says, Raghunandan jane, how do I know? Now the judge is perplexed. And there, just before this court was being summoned, they actually called him for many times. He did not show up in the instance. You know why? Because on that day, the pujari wake up early in the morning. He dressed Ram very well. He was feeding him food and saying, तैयार हो जाओ, आज आपका तारीख है, आपका समन आया है, आपको कोर्ट जाना है, खा पी लो थोड़ा, पता नहीं कितना देर लगे, और पहली बार कोर्ट जा रहे हो, पता नहीं है, जूते पहन लो, रास्ता अगर पता ना हो तो पूछ के चले जाना किसी से, लेकिन तैयार तो हो जाओ पहले. एंड दैट टुक द टाइम फॉर हिम टू गो टू द now judge inside his chamber. He is worried, he is scratching his head like, who was that person then? Then this fisherman says, he is Raghunandan. Which Raghunandan? Because that fellow is saying he gave the slip to somebody else, and you are saying this is Raghunandan. He said, whom did the slip was given? The person was called. And he said, मंदिर के बाहर जो बैठे थे उनका नाम रघुनंदन था, मैंने उनको वो स्लिप पकड़ाया था. I have given the summon to the person who was sitting outside the temple. Then this fisherman, he says, रघुनंदन उसका नाम नहीं है जो मंदिर के बाहर बैठा है, रघुनंदन उसका नाम है जो मंदिर के अंदर बैठा है. Now the judge is more perplexed. He said, what do you mean? Who has really come? He says, Raghunandan आए थे, जिनके नाम का संबंध था वही आए थे. Now, for a moment, the judge could not even understand what has happened. And he's asking, do you really mean that the god of that temple has come to my court? He said, और कौन आ सकता है? You have summoned him. He has to come. Now the judge searches for everywhere. Where is Raghunandan now? He could not find him anywhere. But that day he stood. वो उठ के एक बार खड़ा हो जाता है. And that day he came to a realization that in order to safeguard a devotee, the god had to walk into my court. What kind of court I have created? Where the entire world goes to his court. I forced him to come here. And that day he stood, removed his coat, never to wear it again, searching his coat. And that day he left everything and became the saint that roams all around searching for Raghunath. And that's why everyone calls him Jaj Sahab. What about you? How many times, in however forms, in whatever ways, it might have appeared and disappeared in front of us. न जाने कितने बार रघुनंदन सामने आया होगा. न जाने कितने बार राह दिखाया होगा. न जाने कितने बार हाथ पकड़ के सीढ़ियों से उतार लिया होगा या सीढ़ियां चढ़ा दिया होगा आपको. न जाने कितनी बार आपको गिरने से बचाया होगा. न जाने कितनी बार आपके लिए गाया होगा, रोया होगा. न जाने कितनी बार आपको देख के मुस्कुराया होगा. न जाने कितनी बार वो तुम्हारे लिए आया होगा. तुम्हारे लिए संसार के भीड़ में समाया होगा. न जाने कितनी बार वो तुम्हारे लिए आया होगा. भले ही तुम्हारे लिए वो पराया होगा, फिर भी न जाने कितनी बार वो तुम्हारे लिए आया होगा. कितनी बार तुम्हें गले से लगाया होगा. कितनी बार बिठा के समझाया होगा. न जाने तुम्हारे लिए वो कितनी बार आया होगा. Don't know how many times it might have come for you. Have you gone for him? This might be the contemplation for you And now I go again into the wonders. I'm going to again seek it, again find it for you. Because from day after tomorrow, I'll be out of the country for next 10 days. I am going to Mansarovar. To seek, to search, to find on your behalf. Don't think that I go alone. You are all part of me, and you all go along with me. But always remember, न जाने कितनी बार वो तुम्हारे लिए आया होगा. So thank you so much, Sudhaji. You have something to say? Please.
प्रणाम गुरुदेव.
प्रणाम सुधाजी.
एक छोटा सा बात पूछना चाहती हूँ. हाँ, मैं हाँ या ना में भी आप जवाब दे सकते हैं.
जी.
वो हमारे इतने नजदीक रहता है, वो हमारे लिए आता है, हमारे लिए सब करता है, तब भी हमें क्या सूक्ष्म शरीर और कारण शरीर से गुजरना ही पड़ता है? हम डायरेक्ट सोर्स में नहीं मिल सकते?
बिल्कुल मिल सकते हैं. वो प्रयास हमारी है ताकि आपको ये सारे चीजों में जाना ना पड़े. That's my entire work. Why do I carry you along with the hells and the heavens? Why do I carry you along the temples and the mountains? Why do I carry you through the rivers and the oceans so that you don't have to go through any of this anymore? Why do you even go through the ups and downs of life so that you go through this time not to come again? What looks like pain right now because it might be the stairs that you are building. मैंने कहा ना, उसने अकेले नहीं छोड़ा है, वो कई बार आया है. न जाने कितनी बार आपके लिए आया होगा. But you bought another story. You got another desire. You had another way. We wanted to experience this, that. I said, मत जा. उसके बाद के लिए you will be responsible. जो भी हो जाए, I will go. But still, he said you will be responsible, but he still walked along with you. बोलो रघुकुल नंदन सियावर रामचंद्र की जय.
थैंक यू गुरुदेव.
Thank you, Sudhaji. So may that grace of the divine, and I believe Amarji is also going to the same place, but I don't know his dates. What are the dates that you are going, Amarji?
15th, 1st September to 15th September.
Okay.
I'm
So
reaching Kathmandu on 31st night of this month, August, and journey will start from first. But it was a trick. I mean, bus and trick. I think you are going on helicopter. Just for 10 days, right?
Yes, yes. So good. But don't worry. जो चल नहीं पाता वो उसके लिए चल देता है. जो जा नहीं पाता वो उसके लिए आ जाता है. और जो चलना चाहे उसे समर्थ बना देता है. So till we meet again, take some moment today to thank him. Take some moment today for all that it has done, for all the times he has appeared in your lives. hold you tightly, making you, not allowing you to fall anywhere. Be thankful for that. And with this, I'll meet you again after the 15th. So 15th, if I am returning, that's Friday. So most probably on the Saturday or Sunday, we will having the session again. कोई लौट आया तो. And may you all be blessed. May you all feel the grace of the divine. May you be blessed and your family be blessed. May this be your last journey. Aham Brahmasmi Tattvamasi. Har Har Mahadev. बोलो बांके बिहारी लाल की जय. राधा रमण लाल की जय. बोलो बरसाने वाले राधा रानी की जय. Thank you so much. From hell to the doors of heaven. May your road be the safest, the brightest, the luminous, filled with divinity. Thank you so much.